So let's put the Fujitsu Q702 to rest. Yesterday I published the full review of the Q702 after 2.5 weeks of full-on testing at CeBIT and Mobile World Congress. 3,000 words. You might not want to read through all that. So I just thought I'd just put together a quick video just to show you around the device and talk about the features as I go around. This is only going to be 5 minutes long. And after this, I've got the Sony Vaio Duo. It's actually upstairs at the moment, but I'll run another video with an unboxing and a go over of that one. And of course, there'll be a review to follow up. So the Q702, this isn't an Ultrabook first. This is quite a thick device, 1.6 kilos, 11.6 inch screen. So it's actually heavier than a lot of netbooks, but this is not an atom-based device, it's a core-based device. And this is what you might call a hybrid. And the reason it's called a hybrid is because you can do that. You can take the tablet off the docking station and you've got basically everything inside the tablet. Core i5, 128 gig SSD. It comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Got the HD 4000 graphics in there. There's a whole bunch of ports. This is a V Pro model as well. Nominal 1.8 gigs up to 2.6 gigahertz. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. What that means though is that the docking station, the keyboard part of it is free to contain anything else, and in this case what we've got is a very interesting battery configuration. So obviously there's a battery in this, there's a 35 watt hour battery in this, but here's the really interesting, it's probably the key feature of the Q702 and something that brings it to true all-day battery life. There's a replaceable 45 watt hour battery, so you've got in total 80 watt hours of battery, and that is huge for a 1.6 kilogram device. It really is unbeaten by any Ultrabook in the market today. You'll have to look to the MacBook Pro 13 or even the 15 inch to get a bigger battery capacity in a device of under, I think, 2 kilos. Now, going around the device, of course, full set of ports here. I'll just talk you through very quickly. Full gigabit Ethernet, USB here. We've got a VGA port and another USB port here. So this isn't just a USB dock, it's actually a proper docking station. There's also, on the side here, the capacitive pen. Now that's because the screen has a digitizer. One thing to note, you can separate the two, so if you're running around with the tablet, you're looking for the digitizer, you might have left it in the docking station. Now the touchscreen on this is not only digitizer, but it's capacitive touch as well, and it's slightly matte finish. I think you can probably see that there is not a shiny glossy finish, and that makes a nice difference during working in light environments, in certainly environments with spotlights as well. One thing to mention about the screen, it's got auto backlight. It does go very bright in very bright conditions. I wonder if I can just sort of get the lamp on that to kick in the backlight, but it does go down very quickly as well. So the thing is, this is tuned for long battery life and not high performance. Not only is the backlight a little bit reluctant to come on in full power, so is the CPU. Now what happens here is that because this is a very tight design, a 1.8 gigahertz Core i5 V Pro platform in here means it's very difficult to keep it running at full clock rate. What we've seen is that although it will turbo up to 2.6 gigahertz in a very short period of performance requirement, in the longer term that will go back down, and not only down to 1.8 gigahertz, it will go down below that. So down to 1 gigahertz we've seen in some of the rendering operations we've done. So bear that in mind. The performance results, the performance tests that we've done on this have all exceeded the sort of the turbo curve, and have meant that it's gone right back down to 1 gigahertz, which means the performance results are not very good. Short-term performance though is quite good, so from web browsing that turbo kicks in and works really well, and the SSD is super fast, so it actually gives a really nice feeling of snappiness on the device. Now let me just take you, I will very just quickly talk about the ports on this. You have got HDMI and USB 2 again here. There's all the switches that are required for a tablet, so there's on, off, rotate, lock and volume. I've also got a wireless switch here to switch the radios on and off. That includes 3G, there's 3G in this one, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, separate headphone and mic. On this side you've got full SD card slot, so that's quite interesting, and USB 3. That's the only USB 3 port, separate charging port there. The 3G SIM card goes in down there. Now it's 850 grams, I think it is, for an 11.6-inch device. It's not really consumer friendly. Let's say you can't really sit on the sofa for hours on end reading a book. That's fairly heavy, but it is lighter than a lot of tablets of the last few years. And when I say tablets, I mean tablet PCs. So if you're looking for a digitizer, this certainly isn't heavy by comparison to some of the devices we've seen over the last couple of years. 1366 by 768 screen, so although that's quite nice for 11.6-inch working, you might require a little bit higher resolution if you're doing something very special. Fingerprint reader on this. Let's see if I can get that to work. Let's just try my finger across the back there. And we're going to try that again, again, and again. Okay, no, I don't have... actually, I deleted the database on this, so that's why that's not working. So we can log in, and I can show you that it's a Windows 8 device, and there's the finger touch, and if we get the capacitive pen out here, you'll see I can select with the pen as well. So the Q702 is quite an expensive device. In this vPro Fingerprint 3G version with 128 gig fast SSD, you're looking at €1,700. But if you're not wanting vPro, then there's a Core i3 version, which is a nominal 1.8 gigahertz as well. And given that this downclocks very quickly, there's not going to be much of a performance hit by taking Core i3. You'll lose the vPro, which actually gives you some advantages in that some of the software won't be there. That's related to management and security, and you might actually get a cleaner build because the vPro builds are generally pretty heavy. There's a lot of processors running. Sometimes that affects the efficiency of the device. Overall, we've used this for 2 to 3 weeks now. MWC and CBIT, like I said, working every day, typing. I should mention no backlight on the keyboard, but it is accurate. Every key press is registered properly. It's just a slightly smaller layout, so you'll have to get used to that. Mousepad is very small, it's single touch, and this is the worst part of the whole package. Single touch mousepad should really be a multi-touch mousepad on device of this caliber, but of course you have got the touchscreen to help you with locating on the screen. Anyway, mouse buttons are fine. Yeah, and in terms of daily usage, typing, video editing, image editing, really productive. And what I loved about this is really the fact that we didn't have to take cables with us. The SD card slot is there, the VGA port is there, the HDMI port is there, the USB ports are all there. Everything's there. You don't need cables, you don't need adapters. The other good thing is the battery life. Now we're seeing 8 hours of real use battery life out of this device. And if you can imagine, you have one extra battery. Of course it's hot swappable. You just take that tablet off, swap this battery, put the tablet back on again, and you've got a fresh battery in the bottom. The battery costs $139, but it's a 45 watt. A little bit expensive for a 45 watt hour battery, but you do end up with something like 125 watt hours of capacity, which is huge and will easily give you the confidence to go through any day, 12 to 15 hours long, working with the device. So that's useful. You may not want that hybrid design. You might not think that you're going to use that tablet. Where we didn't use the tablet much either, but you do get that battery design, and that only comes with the hybrid devices because you've got the battery in the screen and the battery in the base. So think about that. Some of the hybrid designs are some of the designs with the biggest battery on the market. So overall then, I think great device, big all-rounder, and one of the most complex and multifaceted laptops I've ever had the pleasure to test and use. Everything on it is built well. Even things like the Wi-Fi reception is good. The 3G reception is top quality. So if you're in extreme conditions, you can really guarantee you've got the best possibility in your hands. It really is a great device. And I think the Core i3 versions, for those of you that are independents and not involved with company vPro device management, that is actually quite a good value option, and actually matches the whole build, I think, a little bit better than the Core i5 with Turbo Boost, which just doesn't seem to fit in this design very well. That's it. That's the Q702 from Fujitsu, the stylistic Q702. On umpcportal.com, I've got the full review. Check that out. 3,000 words. This, I could write another 3,000 words about it because I haven't even touched on the vPro or security aspects of this. But at least you'll get a feel for some of the positive parts of it and a few of the negative parts of it, well, all of the negative parts of it, which include that keyboard, the mouse, and a problem we had with touchscreen, which is a fault on this one, in that one area the touch kept registering and refocusing windows and mouse pointers, so that wasn't very good. Anyway, that's it. umpcportal.com and ultrabooknews.com. Those are the two sites I'm working with right now. Next up, what have we got? We've got the Sony Vaio Duo 11. That's the slider Ultrabook. We've also got, behind me here, another... I'm tethered with mics here. Another hybrid based on a Clover Trail platform, which is a little bit cheaper and a lot less powerful than that. The base doesn't have a battery in it. There's only one USB port. Very much consumer-focused Windows 8 hybrid device, but also very interesting. That one's a 3G version as well. So I'm going to do a full review of that on UMPC Portal. That's it. That was more than 5 minutes, but thanks for watching. Spread the word, like the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.